Hey folks, Mike and McGee here. We froze the turtle meat because we didn't have time to make the piquant at the time that we caught the turtle. So we're gonna make the recipe now. I'm gonna show you how to do it in detail, and also you can look in the McGie family cookbook and see the same recipe, and you can follow it there and get the same result. So first thing we're gonna do is take this meat and cut it up. One thing you'll notice is how many different colors the turtle meat has. White meat, dark meat. It's just amazing. Turtle meat is extraordinary, no doubt about it. That's all you can say about turtle meat. It's extraordinary. And one of my favorite parts is the neck, and as you can see, it's a beautiful white meat. Just a unbelievable meat. Now for piquant, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it up in small pieces, about 3/4 inch squares, but you really ain't gonna get no squares. You just gotta cut out pieces at what you can get off this bone. So let's get into it. You'll find this meat to be one of the most beautiful meats out there. It's just beautiful. You wouldn't normally think of a turtle as being beautiful, but that is just gorgeous. All right, next we're gonna follow the recipe fairly closely. I'm not gonna follow it to the letter. I'm gonna put me in one of these lemon starbursts to give it a little kick. These onions I did not grow. These bell peppers I just picked out of my garden. And of course all tomato sauce and paste and stuff is out of our garden. I haven't yet started making my own salt yet, so I buy pink Himalayan salt. I don't have celery, so I'm going to use whole celery seeds. Just throw some in there just to give it a little celery. I got black pepper here. And Creole seasoning. I love Tony's Sachet. That makes anything good. So we're going to cut this up and get it going. All right, we've got us a little fire going. We've got it on low heat. We don't want this thing burning the barn down because this is gonna have flour in it and it's gonna stick. If we have it too hot, it will stick. So let's get into this. You start by making a roux. And I can just hear you saying right now,
McGee, what in the world is a roux?
well, I'll show you. You start your roux off with 1 stick of butter. Yeah, I know it's store-bought. I sold my cow. I don't have no cream to make butter with, sorry. But I have to have butter, so yep, I went and bought me a stick. Now you're gonna let that stick of butter melt down until you can mix your flour in it. You got 1 cup of flour you're gonna mix in that butter. That's all of that. Now what you're gonna do is dump in your onions and your pepper. You're gonna mix that in with that roux. And now is when you start smelling the good stuff. Man, I love the smell of cooking onions. Woo! Just continue cooking these onions until they get soft. And you're gonna keep stirring quite often because you don't want to burn the bottom of your pan. All right, that's been cooking for a while now. We're gonna add some moisture to help loosen that thick conglomeration. We're gonna go ahead and add our first quart of tomato sauce. We are gonna put 3 quarts of tomato stuff. Some of it's gonna be chunky, some of it's gonna be pureed, some of it's gonna be a hot sauce. We're just gonna add it little by little. Now you're starting to see it work together. we're gonna put a pint of hot sauce that my wife made. Not sure how hot it is. It's not hot, but it is a thick paste. And that's what we need, is some thick paste in there. Next, we're gonna add the other 2 quarts of tomato. That was a thin puree. This is chunks. These are almost whole tomato chunks, maybe quartered tomato quarters. I'm not sure. Larger chunky tomatoes. Stir all that up in there. Next, we're gonna add us some celery seed to give it the celery flavor. We're gonna add us some black pepper. We're gonna add us some salt. And we're gonna throw in some Cajun seasoning, Tony's Sachet. And you're just gonna do that to whatever suits you, however much you wanna put in. You can always add more, remember that. Now what you're beginning to see here, these ingredients are carefully selected because they absolutely fall in love with each other. And I'm telling you, it's already starting to come together. All right, one of the things that the recipe calls for is a cup of red wine. And that's very interesting. I had somebody give me this. That is from generations past. I don't know if that's anything that'd be any count or not, but we cook with it. I don't really think it's got a whole lot of alcohol content in it anymore. I don't know, but if it does have alcohol content in it, it's gonna cook out. But what that does is add just an unbelievable flavor, just a completely different flavor that you can't get anywhere else. And I would call it an optional ingredient. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. I'm gonna throw a cup of it in there. Next is the moment of truth that you've been waiting for. We are going to add the meat from one large turtle. Oh yeah, that's bringing that level up, filling that pot up. That's what you want to see. Man, look at that. Now that is going to sit right there and simmer for several hours. I'm going to say 2 to 3. Whenever it's done, and we won't quit cooking it till it's done. But you have got to stir it a lot during that process because this will stick to the bottom so fast. You're not stirring so much as you are just scraping the bottom. You're just keeping that bottom stirred and scraped. That's what you're doing. As you can see, the fire is still burning on a nice even keel. There's a lot of people that would be kind of afraid or wouldn't know exactly what they were getting into if they built a wood fire and cooked with it. But that's just where I feel right at home. Feel free to use your electric range, your gas range, whatever you want to use. But for me, I'm going to use 3 sticks of wood and cook an entire meal. The recipe calls for putting in 6 cups of boiling water into this mixture, but I am not going to do it because my tomatoes were very, very watery. My tomatoes were extremely watery, so I'm not going to add any water. No water whatsoever. We're just going to have it just like this. All right, it's time to get started. We're going to do a little taste test. It's pretty hot. There's a cool wind blowing. It's about 55 degrees right now. All right, boys, try it out. Be careful, don't burn yourself. How's the flavor, guys?
Good.
What does it taste like?
Pecan?
It's kind of hard. Yeah, it tastes like pecan. It's hard to explain, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's really good. Is it spicy?
About right.
About right. Did you get a piece of meat? How's that?
Good.
Good deal. Well, there you have it. It's still steaming, can't hardly see it, but we're gonna take it in the house and have a big old meal. Some of you might be wondering where my youngest son Caleb is. He's been missing on a video or two now. He got sick, so we took him in to have him checked out. Come to find out, he had mononucleosis. So I don't know where he got that, but they can't give you a medicine to just knock that out. That has to run its course. So he's taking some medicine. He had a little bit of an ear infection, so he's taking something for that, helping him feel somewhat better. So the good news is it will run its course and we will get him back. So we're excited about that. Looking forward to seeing him feel better. So on behalf of the McGie Homestead Adventure, we wish you a good day. God bless. We'll see you on the next video.